It's late on a stormy Wednesday night in Washington, and the Capitol is buzzing. House Republicans have just kicked off a make-or-break procedural vote on President Trump's massive domestic policy bill. The stakes? Sky high. A self-imposed July 4th deadline is looming, and GOP leaders are scrambling to keep their party together and get this thing across the finish line. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is feeling optimistic, telling reporters, "We feel very good about where we are." But let's be real, the day's been long, and not everyone's happy. Some Republicans are grumbling about last-minute changes made by the Senate, and the bill itself is a political powder keg. On one hand, it promises historic tax cuts and beefs up spending on border security, defense and energy, but it also makes deep cuts to healthcare and nutrition programs, and that's got a lot of folks worried. Just as the vote kicks off, Trump jumps onto Truth Social hyping the bill as the one big, beautiful bill. He's telling Republicans, don't mess this up, get on board. But behind the scenes, there's drama. The conservative House Freedom Caucus isn't thrilled, especially with the Senate's changes. Some key holdouts, like Rep. Andy Harris, are publicly guessing the vote might actually fail. But after some FaceTime with Trump, the mood shifts. Ohio's Warren Davidson, who wasn't sold at first, suddenly flips and says, it isn't perfect, but it's the best we'll get. That's huge. Now there's even more chaos as bad weather delays flights for several lawmakers. Every vote counts. Republicans can only afford to lose 3 votes if everyone's present. Meanwhile, every single Democrat is in the room, ready to block this bill if they can. The House Rules Committee has already advanced the Senate's version, even though it stripped out some of the most controversial ideas, like selling off public lands and putting a pause on new AI regulations. But there's still plenty in there to stir the pot. The Senate's version digs deeper into Medicaid cuts and scales back green energy policies, frustrating some Republicans like Ralph Norman, who calls the Senate's actions unconscionable. After meeting with Trump, Norman still isn't sure what to do, saying he wants more answers about how the bill will actually work. Speaker Johnson has been working overtime, trying to convince the Senate not to change too much, and now he's left rallying his own troops. We are working through everybody's issues, he insists. The pressure is on. Trump and Johnson are doing everything they can to sell this as the best possible deal. Reverend Dusty Johnson is confident most Republicans will fall in line, saying they'd rather get something done than see everything fall apart. And Reverend Virginia Fox, she says the clock is ticking, Trump's pen is ready. But Democrats are holding firm. Reverend Jim McGovern slams the bill as a massive betrayal of Americans, and Democratic leaders are pushing their members to stay united. All it would take is 4 Republican defections to sink this bill. So now, as the minutes tick away, the fate of this historic legislation hangs by a thread. Will it pass, or will it all fall apart? One thing's certain, Washington loves a good cliffhanger.